listening to the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We are back. Jam-packed episode this week. We got some champ contender cut. A pretty heavy week of wrestling to break down between Dynamite and Raw, as well as some Backlash predictions and some releases from WWE. Got a lot to break down, talk about, but before I get too far and keep putting my foot in my mouth, the historian of the Scoop Slam Podcast, the co-host, it's Ryan.
Yo, Micah, good to be here on the road to Backlash, and I can promise everybody listening right now, we are indeed good enough to call Backlash. I'm just ready to get into it, Micah.
So they say. But I think we will be calling Backlash this weekend on TikTok, so if you guys are interested in that, make sure you check us out there. I can't say 100% because it is a holiday weekend. We got Mother's Day coming up, so make sure to spend time with your mom out there. But I think we're gonna be live on TikTok. Why do you laugh, Ryan? Because the same reason I'm laughing.
Wait a minute. Yeah, you threw me for a loop there. I was like, oh yeah, it is Mother's Day. It is Mother's Day. Hug your moms for us. Here at the Slam Podcast.
Well, that's what I almost was like. You got any plans? I was like, let me backtrack on that. You know, I mean, I don't have any plans, but but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some WWE releases to talk about, so we'll talk about that before we get into the actual review. But before any of that,
yeah, hold up now. We got a champ contender and cut real quick, Mike. I'm not gonna let you run away from me like that.
No. I was circling back, but Ryan, go ahead. I know you've got a champ contender cut for me, and I kind of got you last week a little bit, so I feel like the favor is going to be returned.
Yeah, you did. So I'm gonna put you on the hot seat right here, right now, Micah. Champ contender cut: Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, or Cora Jade. Who you got, Micah?
Oh, this feels fitting, huh?
Well, no, I just, pulled three names out the hat.
Well, we talking all time, or are we talking if I'm starting a wrestling promotion right now?
This is going forward.
All right.
Their current ages going forward.
Champ, I'm going to say Cora Jade.
All right.
Oh, well, you seem flabbergasted by my choice.
I am, because Braun Strowman he's a former Universal Champion. Like, I don't know.
He's a little... I think he's just getting aged out, man. Cora's young. She has
gimmicks.
Appeal that people like. She has a gimmick.
What do they like?
Well, that's for you to judge and for the rest of us to find out.
You see, she already started her OnlyFans, Mike.
Was that true?
That's true, pal.
Okay. I heard it was fake or it wasn't her account, but I don't know. You know how that goes now on the internet.
Somebody said Punk is first in line, so I don't know.
Oh, come on.
He pre-ordered. I don't know.
Why are people so weird about him?
It's because they hate him, Mike. You know this. They hate the idea of him. They hate what he did to their company, and they think he's a fake ally in their cause. I don't know, Micah. They just don't like CM Punk. I don't know.
So it's okay when Mr. Cope does this, but when the guy from Chicago, that if I had internet like quotes that I could hang up from my personal rafters, that would be up there. I have that screenshot in my phone. That joke is hilarious. But contender, I gotta go Braun Strowman.
Wow.
I know he's old.
Dang. Old shaming.
Well, I feel like, for big men, he's starting to age a little bit where he's not as mobile as he used to be. There were some slip-ups here and there, but he still also put over Bronson Reed this year, put over Jacob Fatu. I think he is a decent hand to have, and he can put somebody over in a good spot. I gotta cut Dakota Kai, and I
Oof.
like Dakota, but she just turned 37 today. Happy birthday! But
Happy birthday, you're fired. Get out of here.
it's a very Vince thing to do, huh? But I just, she's a little older. I think she can go, but I just can't buy her as a top star in the women's division. I know I'm going to have all the daggum Stan accounts all over me, but I don't know, man. I think Cora is younger, has a little more upside at this point in time. Braun can put somebody over, and Dakota, I think at this point is just kind of going to be there to put somebody over, but I don't think that she has the star power of Braun Strowman.
That's pretty solid. Pretty solid. Got no qualms with that, Micah. Maybe Braun and Cora, but I'm sure we'll dive a little deeper when we talk about these releases coming up.
Well, we can go ahead and get into it because I'm sure people have seen the list, but I'm just going to run down this really quick just so that, if you haven't heard, WWE let some people go, cut them, and then they let one person's contract expire, or they're just not going to renew it. So here's the list. Just going to go down them really quick, and then Ryan, you can kind of give your overall thoughts, or if there's anybody specific you want to hit on, we can go from there. Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman, Cora Jade, Shayna Baszler, Caden Carter, Katana Chance, Gigi Dolan, Eddie Thorpe, Jakara Jackson, Riley Osborne, Oro Mensah, Javier Bernal, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, Wolfgang, and Danny Palmer.
Let me step in real quick, Micah. Can you believe Wolfgang was signed since 2016? Can you believe that?
No, I don't think I have ever seen them.
I'm sure you've seen them, bro. Have you seen NXT over the last 8-9 years? I'm sure you've seen Wolfgang, the Coffee Brothers.
I missed a good, like, the only thing I genuinely remember them for, because I missed a lot of NXT UK, is helping The Rock for WrestleMania 40. Like, that's legit the only thing I know them for.
And NXT UK did produce a lot of talent that we have on the main roster now, like Gunther, Rhea Ripley. I think Toni Storm got her start in NXT UK. Pete Dunne. I know you're not a big fan of Tyler Bate, but Tyler Bate. Axiom. I think it was A Kid at the time. He got his start in NXT UK.
Ilya, who has been MIA.
Ilya. Well, he did get injured last year.
Oh,
I don't know if he's healed up. I don't know if he's healed up all the way, but yeah, Wolfgang and the Coffee Brothers, if they weren't brought up by now, I think it was time.
Well, and that's what we can kind of get into this, because I'm not exactly calling for anybody's job, but there's a point where you've had a guy on the roster for too long. There's not really much you can do with him. And I don't understand what the gripe is, because people have this fictitious mentality that, like, you can just pay everybody to sit at home. I guess because Tony Khan has felt okay doing that in the past. I really don't know. I use this analogy on TikTok. When your NBA team, the Lakers, sign somebody, and then they realize that they don't really have a use for them anymore.
Yes, sir.
When they cut them, do people say, "Oh, death to the Lakers"? The Lakers should cease to exist. It's just billionaire. It's just corporate mentality taking over.
Nah, that's not a thing in actual sports.
Exactly.
But can I play devil's advocate here, Micah? Do you think a lot of these people, they are fine with WWE just letting their contracts run out? Do you think that's the case?
I mean, I'm sure it would be a little more well received, but
then you had the people online 2 weeks ago yelling at Nick Khan because he said, "Oh, we don't bench people." Then they brought up Dakota Kai and brought up Shinsuke Nakamura and brought up Omos. They brought up Omos. Apparently he got benched when he was getting over in Japan. So I don't think. And why are people so surprised that spring cuts happen? Like, this happens every year after WrestleMania. This is a thing. It's always been a thing. Go back to 2003, 2004. The spring cuts have always been a thing after WrestleMania. Were people really surprised that this was coming?
well, another thing I would like to bring up, Ryan, as another analogy, if you got somebody to cut your lawn, and they did a good job at first, but you kind of they started cutting corners. They weren't, doing what you wanted. So you bring in another guy. Are you still going to pay that other lawn guy because you feel bad you're taking money out of his mouth? No.
Yes.
You're going to pay a talent or a person for their talent, and if you don't have a use for them, you're not just going to pay them so they can, live out their whim. Like, I hate to burst people's bubble, but people get laid off in real life too. And it sucks, but it's a part of life, and it's even more a part of life when you're in this elite upper group of people that genuinely make it to WWE. To me, it's the same conversation that we have all the time. Oh, push Finn Balor. Bro, not everybody can be a world champion. That's just the facts.
Yeah, but if these people had their way, everybody would be in the main event of WrestleMania. That's just what they want. They want everybody to have opportunity. They want everybody to have a chance. And if everybody doesn't get a chance, then the Fed fumbled them. That's just the way it is, Micah.
I don't know. Well, like, are there some people here that I may not have fired? I probably would have kept Dakota personally, which I know I just cut her in the thing, but
really,
like,
did you really see something in her?
I mean, I don't think she's been the most appalling wrestler I've ever seen.
They brought her back in 2022 at that SummerSlam. Is that 2022? We were doing the podcast, so it had to be 2022, right?
I believe so.
Okay, maybe it was 23. I don't know. But anyway, they brought her back. She was in Damage Control. She was a background player in Damage Control. And then she got outshined by one of the other background players in Damage Control with Io Sky. And you know what? People screaming about Dakota Kai being released. Were you screaming when she was getting no reactions on Raw and SmackDown every week? Make some noise when they come out. She wasn't over, bro. I don't understand the discourse. The people losing their minds online is crazy. Dakota Kai, really?
Well, see,
she's 37. Does she have any working knees at this point? She always gets hurt. I think she's tore her ACL. And bro, I mean, she was there for so long. If you're there for so long and you're not over, it just cut your losses. It's time. You have so many people at the Performance Center. You have so many people at that LFG show. You have so many people in Evolve. You have so many people's contracts coming up for AEW that you want to take a look at. I mean, what is the point of keeping these guys on the roster? At some point, that bench is going to get filled, Micah. I mean, the bench is only so long, pause, but it is. You can't put everybody on the bench. Cut your losses.
Yeah, I mean, that's, they just brought in Penta. They just brought in Rey Fenix, Rusev, Aleister Black. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
I see a longer...
Ricky Saints.
Yeah, I see a longer timetable with those guys than I do a Dakota Kai or a Braun Strowman. I've seen a lot of people mad that Shayna Baszler got released. Oh, they fumbled her, bro. Her run in NXT was so good. Y'all not remember that match that she had? I say match in quotation marks. That she had with Ronda Rousey that was god awful, and she got no reaction.
It was very quiet in that arena. Yeah, she came in hot though. Shayna Baszler. smashed her over in the Elimination Chamber. I believe this was right before COVID. But she eliminated every single woman in the Elimination Chamber match, which has never been done. Well, actually, no, I think Braun Strowman did that too. But anyway, she eliminated everybody in the match, and she went to WrestleMania, Micah, to face Becky Lynch. And she lost to Becky Lynch, even though Becky Lynch was about to leave. She got pregnant. So she left like a month later. So I don't think that was Becky's call, because in her book, she said that she wanted to put Shayna over, but Vince vetoed that, which I don't think he was vetoing that, honestly. But yeah, man, she never got that type of booking since. And that was 5 years ago.
I've just never, out of the entire list, I've never really seen anything with the people that they released. Except maybe like Braun. I think there was a time for him, but like ultimately he is getting older and he's started to get a little injury prone because he is big. And, he's had his time in the sun. So
he's a lot slower than he used to be.
Yeah. And so that one I can understand. Like,
what about
legit? The only ones I would have kept are probably Cora, Gigi, and Jakara Jackson. But other than that, I really don't see the vitriol for this.
What about the Caden Carter and Katana Chance? They were the only legit women's tag team out there.
But it's the same thing as Dakota Kai. I never really heard anybody go crazy for them two. And I was never wowed by their work. They just were okay at best.
And Katana Chance, was that the... I'm trying to remember which was which. Help me out here. Was that American Ninja Warrior girl? Katana Chance? Or was that Kaden?
No, I think Kaden was. I think Katana Chance was the black girl, and Kaden was the white girl. I think.
Okay. Well, regardless, are they still running American Ninja Warrior? Can she go back?
I mean, they'd probably take her.
Okay. All right.
Who else they got driving up ratings over there?
I mean, we could do it.
Let me make sure that I'm right about who they were. Their names are just so similar.
It is, yeah. What happened
No,
to Casey?
Okay, I was wrong. Katana Chance is Casey
Catanzaro.
Yes, thank you.
I remember watching her on American Ninja Warrior back in the day.
Dude, we used to have did it come on like free TV?
It did.
Okay, that was why it was on all the time in my house. Then
I loved it. Yeah, it came on like right before or right after Wipeout. It was good.
Yes, I always like Wipeout, man.
Yeah, good stuff, pal.
It always was so easy too. I thought as a kid, I was like, man, there's no way I couldn't do that.
But the rules to Wipeout was so weird. Like you didn't have to finish the course half the time, like, or maybe they just cut it out. I don't know, man. Like you just see people swimming towards the finish line. Like, wait a minute, they didn't finish those bouncing balls. What are they doing?
I think you at least have to start it, but I don't know. I thought as a kid, I was like, these people are kind of pathetic. Like this seems really easy. But now as like a 23-year-old, I'm like,
oh my god, with my knees, my ankles,
I get it.
Nah, that wouldn't happen, pal.
No,
yeah, man. That was pretty much all of the main roster releases. Do you know any of these NXT names?
Other than the ones I mentioned, not really.
You know Cora Jade. Were you really impressed with her body of work? Really? Like her gimmick felt pretty standard mean girl stuff. And once she got hurt, let me back up. She turned heel on Roxanne Perez. But then she got injured almost immediately after that. And then when she was out injured, they just gave her mean girl gimmick to Roxanne Perez. And Roxanne was kind of doing it a little better. I mean, not much, but a little better. And then when Cora came back, they kind of aligned together. And once Roxanne got brought up a few weeks ago with Julia instead of Cora Jade, you knew the writing was on the wall. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't really improve that much over her time in NXT 2.0, which she was one of the standouts of NXT 2.0 when they first rebranded, which is not saying much. Still, she was one of the people that you thought that the company was pretty high on. But yeah, man, once she got that injury and once she didn't come back, once she didn't come up to the main roster with Roxanne, you kind of knew something was up.
I mean, on if we're being honest here, I've probably seen only a handful of Cora Jade matches and promos, but I don't know. At this point, I think she is more interesting than some of the women they have on the main roster. Like, same with Gigi Dolan. Like, I'm not saying that they are just the most incredible workers in the world, but they had a look. They look different than the typical, I would say, WWE women's superstar. Same way, like, Rhea has a different look, and that makes her interesting. But would I say that Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan are just like 10 times worse than Tiffany Stratton, or maybe not? They're nowhere near Tiffany Stratton's level. I wouldn't say that. I don't think Tiffany's that much better than them.
It's crazy though because Tiffany was a part of NXT 2.0, and she debuted right around the time Cora Jade did, and she just kind of surpassed her as far as like popularity goes and how many flips she can do. And yeah, I was gonna say something, but no, I probably shouldn't say that. But yeah, man, the Gigi Dolan release, yeah, they really haven't been using her on NXT much. So wasn't that much of a surprise. Eddie Thorpe, wasn't we just talking about him? We were just talking about him. What? Like over text?
I think it was over text. I was about to say, I don't think it was on the show, but I don't remember what we were talking about.
I don't remember either, but I think he's like 37, 38. And he's been in the system for like 4 or 5 years at this point. Didn't seem like they had plans for him. He had that little feud with Trick Williams a few months ago. He even beat Trick Williams. Did you see that?
I didn't catch it, honestly.
Dang, well, he beat Trick Williams in a strap match. I think it wasn't clean, but still, he beat him in a strap match. And now he would benefit going to New Japan. He really would. They need stars. They need stars over there. He at least has somewhat of a name. He was on national TV here.
I think Braun Strowman could go over there and do good. I just don't know if he would want to.
You think he would? With those knees?
Well, I mean, they like the big guys over there in New Japan. I mean, at least he's a name.
Do they? I don't know if they still like the big guys over in New Japan. Have you seen what they been producing the last 10, 15 years?
Well, but they had like Hikuleo over there, and
he was an undercard guy.
Well, I guess that's
true. They don't have Gaijins anymore. The Big Van Vaders and Stan Hansens are a thing of the past.
Well, you can tell my knowledge of Japanese wrestling in its current state is
your Japanese graps knowledge, Mike, needs some improvement.
Yeah.
Riley Osborne, have you ever heard of that guy? I've never seen him.
No, I keep thinking he's Miles Bourne. not like by the look, but just the name. Like, I don't know why.
It is very similar, yeah. Ora Menza, who's part of the Metaphor, they went their separate ways. They being the Metaphor on the last NXT show, which came out of nowhere. So you knew something about to happen. Like somebody was getting called up, somebody was getting sent away. But yeah, they split in a very babyface fashion. You don't really see a lot of groups split up that way, but yeah, they all agreed to go their separate ways. And I'm surprised Noam Dar didn't catch the. I'm not rooting for Noam Dar to lose his job, but I'm very surprised he didn't make these rounds of cuts.
Well, see, that's who I was expecting out of anybody in that group to get released, because how long has he been there?
Apollo Crews, too.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing, and we can kind of wrap this up in a minute, but what really aggravates me is they go, oh my God, how could they fire Dakota Kai and keep Nikita Lyons? How can they fire Braun Strowman but keep insert wrestler I hate here?
Logan Paul.
Isn't that kind of hypocritical that you're upset that one person lost their job in favor of somebody else losing their job? and I'm not here to get into the politics about why people hate Nikita Lyons, but it's just very odd behavior to me to get upset at WWE for firing people and then say, well, they should have fired this person instead. What?
They should hate Braun Strowman too if they don't like Nikita.
Yeah, but you never heard anything about him. You don't ever hear anything about like control your narrative anymore. But oh man, Stone Nikita Lyons.
Let me ask you something, Mike, and then we can move on. Why was this post-Mania cut so volatile compared to all the other cuts that we just had? We just had a round of cuts a couple months ago. We didn't have this much volatile online. Is it because WWE is flashing their money in our face? They're bringing out the money spread, Micah, bragging about how every single show they're at is the highest gate they've ever done of all time in the history of the world. And is it a little bit of that, Micah? And a little bit
that's
of
part of it.
Maybe a little burnout of all the celebrity involvement. Like you can pay for I don't know, Tony Hinchcliffe to come to the show, but you can't pay Dakota Kai a fair day's wage. Is that it, Mike?
Well, I think a lot of it honestly has to do with just who they picked. The internet wrestling community for women's wrestlers is very...
Be careful now.
It's very different.
Weird? It's very weird.
Well, they choose their favorites, man. They love their favorites, and they are ride or die. And I think that this cut had a lot of Stan account favorites, and they don't care about anything but where their favorite wrestler is wrestling, or who, or when, or when they're going to be on the show.
If their favorite women's wrestler is getting released, bro, that's when the guns come out.
They got shooters. Like I'm not gonna lie, man. It's a weird.
How dare you disrespect my cinnamon roll, Dakota Kai?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like some of them, is this a 13-year-old girl behind the account, or is this like a 45-year-old man?
It's probably the 45-year-old man, and he's probably texting Sasha Banks' assistant for $100 a month.
Well, how else are we gonna get that interview, Ryan?
Hey, you know what? I didn't think about that.
Send it through. But yeah, in all seriousness, it does suck for people to lose their job, but it was kind of a crazy outrage for the
Poor
people
Jay. Dakota Kai.
Yeah, especially because too, if you look at the past couple years, they released Bray one year and Alistair and all these guys, and then this is the most tame one ever, and it seems like it got the most hate. Well, maybe except for Bray. I remember that one was a big deal.
Oh man, I was hurt. But we gotta look at the facts though, Mike. A lot of these people just weren't improving, and time isn't on your side when you're on the back of 30 and you're still in developmental. Not everybody can be a DDP or LA Knight and hit their peak and their prime in their late 30s. Not everybody has that.
And the best thing for people like that is to go somewhere else and do a Drew McIntyre and make yourself more valuable to WWE and come back. That's definitely within the realm of possibility for some of these people.
Yeah.
So
what's that?
I don't know.
Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
Matt Cardona did it.
I don't know why people act like they're beheaded the week after they get fired from WWE. Man, if you like Dakota Kai that much, I assure you she'll be somewhere in the US wrestling.
Yeah, buy a ticket, buy her t-shirt, show up to the show up to the bingo hall and make some noise for her.
Come on.
I'm just saying. Matt Cardona, he sent out a tweet right after all the releases happened. He put to the recently released, you have 3 choices: fade into obscurity, coast off your WWE name, or work your ass off, reinvent yourself, make a lot of money, and have a lot of effing fun. Love, the indie guy. And I mean, he's speaking straight facts. It ain't
Yeah.
over. You can still go out there and make a living, and who knows, eventually you'll be able to come back.
Again, like LA Knight's the prime example. A guy that just kept at it for as long as possible, and he's a fringe main event player in WWE now. So,
Yeah.
I genuinely, after saying all that, to say this, I genuinely wish the best for all these people, and I hope that they...
You wish them the best in their future endeavors.
Yeah, I wish them the best in their future endeavor. Genuinely, though, like,
Okay, right.
I know it's a cop-out answer.
Okay.
Ryan, one more thing. I know we spent forever on these releases. Do you think there's anybody AEW picks up out of this group?
Oh, man. See, they had a chance on a bunch of these talents before. Like, Braun Strowman got released all the way back in 2022, or I think late 2021, and they didn't pick him up. Poor Jey, she was with AEW. I don't think she's ever going to AEW. Just because she had that little thing with Darby, like the Twitter beef with Darby a few years ago. I don't know if you remember that.
Well, see, that's the same thing with Gigi Dolan. Like, she was married to Darby, so is there bad blood there?
Exactly. You know what? Shayna Baszler. I did see Marina Shafir post a picture of her. Are we in the 3rd inning of the Death Riders right now?
Oh, God. I could see that one.
Really? You want to see that?
No. Whoa. You're putting words in my mouth, pal. I don't
see any of these people as game changers.
Yeah. I think Dakota probably ends up in DPW, and she may maybe AEW. Oh, come on, man.
I'm just saying, man.
They got you got Javon Evans is from DPW.
He ain't there no more.
Oh, so it just don't matter.
What, do you know anybody else over there? There you go.
All right.
I'm looking at this list, bro. I'm not seeing anybody that I can see going anywhere else. You know what? So the TNA Knockouts division, I'm sure, because Cora Jade, she did work for TNA a few months ago when WWE NXT and TNA had that partnership. So I can see Cora Jade going to the Knockouts division.
But isn't that kind of wild? Because they'll be rubbing shoulders with the NXT talent, like they weren't just over there.
Well, I don't think she's gonna burn any bridges. Like she sent out some cryptic tweets the day after saying that some people in management were really shaming me. But I don't think she's willing to burn a bridge, so I don't think she would have a problem working the Knockouts division. She's still 24 years old. So out of everybody on this list, I feel like she is the one that can be brought back. So yeah, I can see her in TNA. Jakara Jackson, they bring her TNA. I can see that.
How old is she?
She's in her early 20s. She was at the tryouts in Vegas when they first. It was that SummerSlam in Vegas when they had Cena and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Was that Cena and Roman Reigns? Or that Brock and...
No, it was Cena and Roman, because that was 2022, and I think that was the one where they had to come out of the stadium and go to the arena.
Okay, no, well, that was Money in the Bank then. That was Money in the Bank.
That's right.
She was at tryouts at that one, and I think they signed... I think they signed Tiffany at that one, and they signed Nikita Lyons at that tryout. But yeah, she's in her early 20s, so... Maybe she'll find her way back, but yeah, Impact should clean up with these releases. But anybody else, AEW.
Well, speaking of AEW, we got some Dynamite to break down just a little bit here. I cannot believe we spent that long on the releases, but there was so much online discourse.
Yeah, it was.
But to start off Dynamite, we got to go back to our weekly recurring talking point, which is the Hurt Syndicate and MJF, the most interesting thing on AEW television to me. It's crazy because how many weeks in a row has it been that we're doing this voting thing? But it's so over. Like, they were just hanging on, the thumbs up or the thumbs down from Bobby. Like, they were going crazy for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And fans still aren't tired of it.
No, and I mean, it goes to show you that when you take guys that are serious, when they do good work and they don't spit in your face and say, oh, we're all friends here, or oh, this is all fake, or they're not goofy, then stuff like this can get over. This is such a genuine storyline that makes sense and is good, and I come back to Dynamite every week wanting to see the next stage. So, obviously, MJF doesn't get it, kind of lashes out, and then Bobby gets the, you've given us all this stuff, but the one thing that we do is hurt people, and that's what I need to see from you. Hurt somebody.
So do we see FTR getting involved in this? Maybe MJF hurting the Hurt Syndicate with FTR? Can you see something like that happening?
I don't know. I don't know that they're going to go with faction warfare here. I think that we actually do get MJF joining.
Okay, well, who does he hurt, Micah?
That's what I don't know. I think the Hurt Syndicate needs legit challengers.
Where are they going to find those? AEW.
Well, that's a good question, because I don't know of any babyface tag team that I can say would be worthy of MJF to beat them up for the sake of this angle.
Are the Righteous doing anything? He beat them up 2 years ago.
Well, they just got released today.
Oh, okay. All right.
I really don't know. But that's the intriguing thing here is I don't know where they go next with this.
I got my money on MJF FTR reunion here. I don't think at this point MJF is going to join the Hurt Syndicate. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Well, can I counter with do you remember when we had Ibu on the show a couple weeks ago? He did say that there was heat between FTR and MJF, but it almost kind of sounded like they don't love working together.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, maybe. But at this point, Micah, I don't. Like you said, this is part of the intriguing thing. We don't really truly know where this is going. I mean, there's a lot of ways they can go. I think the safe bet is the FTR MJF reunion, personally.
I would enjoy that, and I always feel like the Pinnacle didn't get a fair shake. I just don't. And two, FTR's heel, so why would they have a gripe with the Hurt Syndicate? Which I guess, I don't know, is the Hurt Syndicate really, are they really heels? Because they had the match against Big Bill and Brian Keith, and I would say they're more hated than the Hurt Syndicate. Like, people, they love the song, and they love watching them hurt people, so.
We don't have babyface and heels here, pal.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's such an 80s take for me to make, man.
Such an antiquated take you have, Mike.
Yeah.
Jim Cornette.
You must not know the Stan accounts.
You're Southern. You're just like Jim.
Oh man. Yo, well, what did that one guy say to us at one time? You're Southern. Your opinion doesn't matter. What? Oh, that's. Man, people in comments, I really don't get pissed about what people comment to me, because a lot of times they take it way more serious than I do. But some of the stuff, man, they just I'm willing to have a debate in a comment section, but people will be like, oh, you're a effing idiot. And that's all they'll say. And I'm like, what? Okay. Why? I had one guy today, because I made a video about, we talked about this last week, we may be seeing the come down from the WWE peak. But I've made some points about where I thought AEW could, plant their flag and maybe take a little bit more control for a little bit, or, have the hot hand. And one of the guys was like, "You can tell that you don't watch AEW."
What?
What?
We paid tickets to their shows.
Yeah, like I watch every week. We talk about it, so y'all know I watch every week.
Damn.
I don't know. And then I commented, I was like, "What would make you think that?" And radio silence. All right, appreciate it, man. Have a good one. I don't know.
It's because you don't know ball by saying Daniel Garcia is a waste of space.
Oh yeah, I got cooked for that one, and Shibata too.
Oh, you don't know ball if you don't like Shibata. Get out of here, bro. What are you talking about? Shibata? Are we watching the same show?
No, they called him a legend, a living I can tell you don't know ball when you don't like the living legend Shibata.
What's
That's
your
a
favorite?
quote.
Is your favorite Shibata move, Micah, is when he sits crisscross applesauce in the ring and starts slapping people while he gets slapped by other people? Is that your favorite move, Biz?
No, I think my favorite move is when he pulls out his iPhone and
let Siri do the talking for him.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's the best promo in the business, pal.
Well, okay, it's funny, it's hilarious.
Yeah, he doesn't do that anymore, Ryan. He's with the ops now.
He just stands and crosses his arms, looking like bad.
Yeah. We got Hobbs and Samoa Joe and Shibata. One of these things is not like the other. Well, moving on to the main event for the final of the the semifinal of the Owen Cup, we got Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Adam Page. Now, I'm really interested to see what you have to say about this, because I think I'm going to be a little higher on it than you are. First, I think this is the first time anyone has ever worn pink and lost in the Owen Hart tournament, because most of the time I get pissed off because the guy in pink wins and the guy in not pink always loses. So it's very obvious. So that kind of threw me for a loop. But I thought it was a good, hard-hitting contest between two of AEW's top stars right now. Couple wild spots. Brainbuster on the apron. I wouldn't take it.
Wait.
Tombstone.
Where? On the apron? That's the hardest part of the ring.
Really?
I think so.
Well, we'll have to put some studies into that. I don't know.
Yeah.
My money's on the middle.
Okay.
They had a tombstone on the outside, which I'm sure you probably were not a fan of, and I was not either.
Micah, I'm sorry, man. I wasn't here for this match, so I don't have anything to say about this match. I didn't watch it, Micah. I'm sorry. I didn't. I invoked the finisher kickout fist rule, and I had to skip it. I invoked it.
Well, but this one really wasn't. It wasn't that bad with the finisher kickout fist.
It wasn't that bad. I don't know. I saw a lot of wrestling this week, Micah, and we did get a little finisher kickout fest on Monday, and I think that's where I got a little burned out of it. And on Wednesday, I couldn't do it. I'm sorry.
I think that one was worse than, honestly, I think that one was worse than this one was in terms of the finisher kickout fest.
Well, that one had sports entertainment. That one had sports entertainment, pal. I don't know about this. I saw the finish.
Well, my only gripe with this one, which again, I'm not a fan of the tombstone on the outside. Man, Kyle Fletcher, what do you got to have to beat him? Because Hangman had control like most of the match and hit just about all of the big typical Hangman moves. I mean, he hit like the Dude Buster and, like I said, the tombstone on the outside. But it just kind of was like Kyle. I don't know that he ever hit his finisher. He had a couple big moves.
No, he hit that little riding. He rolled Hangman. Did you see that?
No, I think
He
I
jumped
missed
on.
that one.
No, you didn't see that. He jumped on his back and started riding him like a bull. You didn't see that part?
Oh, okay. It was a little funny.
Oh, okay. You laughed at that, huh?
It was more funny than
I don't
some
know.
of the other things on the show.
I don't know, man. He ain't beating those allegations doing stuff like that.
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny, but I thought it was a good match. I thought they had a good fake at one point as well, because Don Callis, I believe, had the referee distracted, and then Fletcher kicked him in the balls, hit a brainbuster, and I legit thought it was over, because I thought Kyle was winning this anyway, so they could run back Ospreay and Fletcher. Thankfully, they're not, so I think Paige was the right person to win here, but I thought it was a good match. I honestly enjoyed it more than the Raw main event.
You really thought that they were going to run back Osprey and Fletcher again? What else could they do to each other?
I don't know, but it's all the Don Callis family talks about.
Okay, yeah. They talk, yeah. They do talk a lot, but
I mean, I'm sick of Ospreay versus Don Callis family too, but I'm just saying that's still their focal point for some reason.
yeah. I've seen the finish, bro. I don't know. It just didn't call to me, Mike. I saw the runtime and we were about to record and I just yeah.
It was good. I would say it was my match of the week, honestly.
I'll take your word for it.
I don't think you will.
No, I won't.
But that brings us to Monday Night Raw from this past
Here we
Monday.
go. Yeah.
Oh, business is picking up, huh?
Yeah, I done slid a little closer to the edge of my seat.
We'll give you the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
That's right. I'm here. I'm locked in now. I watched all that.
So, to start us off with what I thought was probably the best segment of the entire week, not what you think I'm going to, Pat McAfee and Gunther.
Oh man.
What a 180 of what everybody online said. Oh, this sucks. This is going to be awful. Pat McAfee sucks on commentary, and he's got this frat boy culture, and he's bringing his Pat McAfee show goons, and all that nabob of negativity is there to do is say his catchphrases, and I can't believe they're putting him in the ring with a real Graps god like Gunther. And then Pat McAfee goes out and cuts one of the best babyface promos of the entire year.
Oh man, Nebraska was rocking for him. He knew all the things to say to get the crowd on his side. Did you hear the crowd chanting "Beat that meat" chant? You hear that?
Yeah, a little pause on the play, but I'll let it slide because the promo was really good.
Yeah, it was great.
Gunther came back with an even better rebuttal. The thing is, I said this when all this was announced. I said, "Hey, y'all pay attention. Pat McAfee is good on the mic, and Gunther is good on the mic. This is going to work. These guys are going to put a lot into this, and I bet you the match we'll see this weekend probably going to be pretty good. It's probably going to be 10 minutes. Gunther's going to kill him, and Pat will get a couple underdog spots. But every segment that we've gotten from this feud has been some of the best wrestling TV of the year. And if you don't agree, I'm normally not like this, but you're insane. The Gunther beatdown was amazing. The promo the next week was great, and this promo was one of the best of the week, of the month, of the year between both guys.
I think they are having a more entertaining feud than Jey and Gunther did. Because man, that Jey and Gunther feud went on for 10 or 11 weeks, and you maybe got 2 or 3 weeks where there was really, really good stuff, and then a lot of stuff in between. They kind of started copying what they did the weeks prior, and it just didn't really feel as personal as this one does right here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't say this a lot about a promo, and it may be glazed, but when McAfee was talking about being a kid and he pointed up there to the rafters and he said, I was a kid up there just like there's kids up there now. And all my life I dreamed about being in this ring and telling a-holes like you what's wrong with you. I got chills. Genuinely, that was such a good line that people can relate to. That is a babyface promo.
The gift of gab, it can't be taught. You just have it. Pat yaps on ESPN. He promos literally for 5 hours a day on ESPN. And people are surprised that he's a good promo. But people are shifting the goalposts now. Like, they're fine with the match happening. They just need Gunther to beat him in 3 minutes, which I don't think that's the right way to go. I think Gunther, like you said, should be on offense most of the match. But I'm looking at an 8-9 minute match here. Maybe Pat gets some flurry of offense periodically throughout the match. Pat lands. Isn't his finisher the punt? Is that his finisher? Punt?
I really don't know.
He hit a punt on Austin Theory to win the match at WrestleMania, so I assume that's going to be his finisher here. Yeah, can you imagine him hitting a punt on Gunther? Gunther selling it like death, and then we got a hot near fall. Can you imagine that?
Oh yeah, the people are going to be crazy for it because it's the typical, like, the heel dominates for forever and then the babyface fires up. Like, they're going to go crazy for that near fall.
Yeah, two very smart work. Pat is a smart worker too. I know it's probably been a while since you've seen one of his one-on-one matches, but he had a one-on-one match with Cole, and I thought his match with Theory was well worked too. So he's a very smart worker. So him and Gunther, they're going to surprise a lot of people.
Yes, that's what I didn't understand the gripe then, and now I feel like people look like fools because, like, I show, honestly, and I feel like you kind of do some of the same thing. I show my wife some things just to get a different perspective because she didn't grow up watching wrestling, and she was like, nah, man, like, he sounds genuine. Like, most people don't sound like that, and that's my point. And then Gunther too. I feel like we're glazing Pat, but dude, Gunther was like, by the grace of God, you're untouchable right now, but God is the only one that can save you on Saturday. Dude, that's ruthless, man. Like, this was such a great segment.
On Saturday, only the grace of God can lift my arms off the throat. And he gave him a little shove at the end.
Yeah.
And Pat looks so unsure of himself. That's great stuff, man. That's what pro wrestling's all about right there. I love it.
Yes. And that brings us to the Raw main event, which we can kind of combo this with the opening segment because I thought Heyman also had a masterclass of a promo.
That was Paul Lee dangerously, buddy. That wasn't Paul Heyman. That was straight scream promo from Paul Lee there.
But to steal one of his clients' lines, tell me when he's telling lies. I don't think what he was saying was wrong.
Well, to an extent, he did save Roman from the island of irrelevancy and brought him to the island relevancy. I didn't say that 3 times fast, Micah. So he did save Roman. But there was no justification for turning on CM Punk.
Well, but I thought they played it smart where he's like, you wedged yourself in between me and Roman, and so, like, Punk tried to put seeds of dissension between those two. I think that's I don't know that I could justify doing that to your best friend, but I think it at least makes sense. It's not like a complete out of left field reasoning.
Yeah. Can we talk about Paul spray tan too, by the way?
Are you not a fan?
I don't know, man. I think Netflix is gonna have to start putting like a warning at the start of each episode, like a disclaimer. Like, when they do that for like old movies, like I feel like Paul is rocking blackface at this point. They're gonna have to put like cultural depictions common to this era disclaimer at the front of each episode. I don't know, man.
You thought it was that bad?
He was rocking the blackface, man. You didn't see that? I swear it did. It felt like
I didn't think it was like that bad. I did get tickled because in the main event, Pat said it looks like those two guys took a trip to the sun. I don't know if you call it that.
Yeah, him and Braun, they hitting the spray tan up together. They gotta be.
Yeah, well, Braun's always been kind of crazy about it, but I mean, would you rather him look like that or look like John Cena?
Oh man, why is that? Can we look like somebody in the middle? I think Miz got a pretty good tan. Can we look like Miz?
Yeah, Seth he isn't milky white, but
I think Seth is Seth Hispanic? He got a natural tan going.
Well, I don't.
His last name's Lopez, right?
Well, I was gonna say that, but then I said, well, that kind of sounds wrong if I say that. So I
don't know. I think he is, but anyway, he has a natural tan going. Braun and Heyman taking it to the extreme, bro.
Well, I don't know. I can see both sides of it. Like, I would rather you, maybe not Heyman because he's a manager, but like Braun, like I would rather him look like that than, John Cena, yeah, or Sting. Like, it's a cosmetic business. I think definitely you can go a little too far.
He looked like Brother Love out there, man.
Oh, well, see, now I feel like Seth has to join in on it.
You think he should get a Brother Love type tan, huh? You think he's going to come out looking like X-Pac when they parody the Nation of Domination?
Oh, man. I think Seth has to get it. Otherwise, he stands out.
Yes, he did.
I think the whole group needs to go in the tanning bed together. Not at the same time.
Hold up,
Paul's on the play.
Wait a minute.
But when a dude is banging you and you feel his body.
But we're going on tangents here, Mike. Yeah, man, the Heyman was great. Man, the Heyman was great. The promo from Heyman was great. It's getting late here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is getting a little late here if you can't tell.
But it was a great promo. Great promo. It felt like old school Paul.
Yeah,
it felt like a one night stand Paul when he cut them promos on Edge and JBL when he came out the first one night stand and cut that impassioned promo. It felt like that, which I like. I think that's how he actually got the fans to boo. Or the concept, what we were saying last week. You should let Paul Heyman talk. One of the best heel managers of all time, the best heel managers of all time, to get that group booed. And what do you know, Micah? They let Heyman talk, and Heyman got booed.
Yeah. Well, that, and I think they smartly put Seth against Jey for a reason. I feel like that's why they pivoted to this for this week, which it all ties in together because obviously we get the match later. You get the ending with kind of all the forces colliding. But
Jey was great here too.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. I think such a babyface like Jey, which is kind of weird that it didn't work last week for Sammy, but it did for Jey.
What? You tell me the fans aren't sick of his 3 moves, Micah? You tell me he doesn't suck? The fans don't hate him? What?
Well, you know what we say here all the time, even though we are a part of the online community, considering we have a podcast, it is a small minority, so despite what people tell you, the people love to wave their arms up and down in the arena, and he's not my favorite in the world, but...
You were flaring your arms on him.
Well, that...
No.
That was a little different. It wasn't to the complete extent that it's become.
You were doing it. Don't make it seem like you were.
No, I was, but
you were part of the yeet movement before anybody.
No. I do like Jey.
You pointed out to me. You said, "Hey, you see what he's doing with his arms? It looks kind of goofy, but it works." You were all aboard the yeet movement.
I was fine with the dance. The yeet, that got a little lost on me. It's not 2015 anymore.
Regardless. We're getting off topic again, Mike.
But Jey had a good promo. There was one other thing I wanted to say, but I can't remember now what it was. So we'll just move on to the match. So we got Jey versus Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship. I thought this was probably the best match of the night, second best match of the week. And if you ask me tomorrow, I may say best match of the week. They were both really solid. I thought this one started kind of slow. That's not necessarily a bad thing because it did pick up by the end. And I kind of expected that with Jey and Seth. Like, both of their styles don't lend to quick-paced, just a banger right out the door because Seth obviously is a little older and Jey is, well, Jey. But I thought the spear reversal into the pedigree was well done, and mainly the ending is what I want to talk about, Ryan, because it kind of felt like an old school, like Monday Night Wars ending where you got all of the stars out there and they're all, choosing sides. I felt like that was a big deal.
It felt like more of a WrestleMania climax than the end of night two. It felt like a WrestleMania climax.
Yeah. Well, the return of Punk, that got a huge pop. Plus, Sammy's back to get retribution now. So they've aligned with Jey, but where does that leave us for the third man for Heyman and Seth? Or Heyman, Seth, and Braun?
So wait, let me back up a little bit, Micah. You didn't like this match? You weren't high on this? I thought this was the best Raw match I've seen all year. They actually made me believe Seth was going to take that title off Jey, even though I knew deep down they weren't going to do a title change a week before Backlash. But still, I bid on a lot of these near falls at the end. And it's hard for me to bite on near falls, being a jaded wrestling fan such as myself. But yeah, man, I thought this was the hottest Raw match I've seen in a while and the best Raw match I've seen all year. Crazy because we just came from the best SmackDown match I've seen all year last week. But yeah, I thought they had a really good match. This is the best Jey match I've seen. I don't know. It's been a while.
It was good. I didn't mean for that to come off that I didn't like it.
You were
it
down.
was the best. No,
you said
it was one of the best.
You said the best part of the run-ins. Call spade a spade here.
Well, that's just because Punk was involved.
Well, Sammy was there too.
I like Sammy. But I do think it's one of the better Jey matches. I don't know that it's the best Raw match I've seen because I did like the Punk Seth Steel Cage match. It was good. I did the fake with I can't exactly remember. I can't call it blow by blow, but there was a time where I think Heyman had the ref distracted, and Braun speared Jey, threw him back in the ring.
Yeah, I thought that was it. I really did.
And I didn't think that it was out of the realm of possibility for them to swap it, just because I don't think Jey has a long reign. So
did you catch it live? Did you catch this match live?
That was another thing that took away from it. Okay. I didn't watch it live. I knew what happened.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I can see if you already know what's going to happen, that kind of takes away the magic of it. But yeah, if you were in the moment watching this live, there was multiple times where surely Seth isn't going to kick out of that. And he kicked out. And I'm like, wait a minute now. If Seth's kicking out of that big move, he certainly is about to hit his finisher. And Jey's not going to kick out of that big move. And then it happened. And then all the run-ins happened. And who would have guessed Omaha, Nebraska, having the hottest Raw crowd of the year, even though we went to, where we go? Brussels. We went to London. Where else we go, Micah? Did we go to Ireland?
Ryan, are you telling me you don't like the sing-along? The Cody Rhodes? You're not a fan of that, Ryan?
Well, they have their place, but here, they were just cheering for the wrestlers involved in the action, and they were
crazy concept.
Crazy. I don't know. I don't know if that's what we're supposed to be doing here. I thought we were here for karaoke, but still, Micah, this Omaha, Nebraska had a hot crowd for some reason.
I think that WWE, which it's funny because I'm kind of having to eat crow. We talked about the downward slide. I think that this is some of the best TV they've done in a long time.
Yeah, it
I don't
is.
know.
This is supposed to be a middle of the road PLE, but this build has been. I don't know, man. It's on par with Mania. I don't know.
Yeah, which that's not exactly a high bar to jump over, but
Still.
maybe that was why we had so many title changes at Mania. They're trying to have a changing of the guard or something. I don't know, but a very interesting Monday Night Raw, top to bottom. I don't think there was anything that I was just like, I'm uninterested in this, even if we didn't talk about it per se.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Ryan, it is time for Backlash 2025 predictions, and we may get some additions. I don't know.
This is it, bro. Triple H loves his 5-match cards. This is
It's
it.
freaking crazy to me because I swear that Logan and Jay was advertised, but I guess not.
Yeah, I did too. I really did. Cause we talked about this last week that Logan and Jay was gonna be the match at Backlash, but apparently not.
I don't know. Do you think they pivoted or?
Well, after the show, I don't know if you saw, but Logan Paul hit Jey Uso. So it looks like that's gonna be the main event, and maybe Saturday night's main event, because I think they got one coming up. Did you see that at the end?
I think I like heard about it, but
It
I
was
didn't
off
actually
air.
watch it.
It was off air. Jay was going around the crowd, slapping hands and stuff. And then camera, I don't even think it was the WWE cameras. I think it was just, somebody's cell phone camera, which made it feel more real, which they've been doing that a lot, actually, in the Triple H era. But Logan was disguised in, you guessed it, a hoodie, Micah. And he cold cocked Jay and left him for dead while he stuck his tongue out and ran away.
Sounds like Logan.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought it was pretty funny.
Well, I mean, I'm just glad they're kind of keeping to it because one of my least favorite things in wrestling, and sometimes it's warranted, but when they like see the reaction and then they just completely act like those guys didn't interact the week before, that's kind of what this felt like. But we'll see. I think that match will be better too than a lot of people think, but
Yeah.
you know how that goes. You're taking the IWC's most hated champion right now in Jay because he took it off their baby Gunther. Then you got Logan Paul, and that really don't need much further explanation. But Backlash this Saturday, May 10th. Ryan, the first match we've got for the WWE Intercontinental Championship: Dominic Mysterio versus Penta.
Well, certainly Dominic has to win this first title defense. I would assume Dominic wins this.
Yeah, I think he has to. I think it would be a mistake to take it off of him this early. Now, I'm not saying he needs an 8-month reign, but the fans are still interested to see what happens.
It might be a pretty good match, too.
Yeah. Speaking of good matches, I'm really excited for this next one. Fatal 4-way match for the United States Championship: Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre.
If there's one thing that WWE can do is book a multi-man match. So I think we get a great match, but in the end, oh man, I'm going with Drew here. I'm going Drew McIntyre. I think
Really?
I think Solo cost Jacob.
Already?
Why not?
I just think it might be a little early. Like maybe Money in the Bank, but we still got 3 months until SummerSlam.
But you can get the title off Jacob without pinning him. And they can sow some more seeds of distrust between Solo and Jacob.
That's a good point. I'm still gonna put my money on Jacob, but I'm not going with a high bet.
Maybe it's part of me deep down wanting Drew to have something,
Yeah, I would not be upset if Drew wins it. What I would be upset with is if Priest or LA Knight wins. And I like LA Knight, but I don't want to see that anymore. Next up, my most anticipated match for this: Pat McAfee versus Gunther.
I think you got to go Gunther, but with an appearance with Goldberg after the match.
You calling that now, huh?
Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of. It just makes sense to have Goldberg involved. You know, Pat's a former football player. Goldberg's former football player. Gunther called out Goldberg at that show he went to in Atlanta. Goldberg's having his last match this year. I think are they doing a Saudi show next couple months? I think they are. But even if they don't, Goldberg is a big enough name you can put him on any. So I just feel like that's the way you have to do this.
I could see it. I definitely think Gunther's winning, but I don't know, man.
You want to roll
We'll
up?
see about Goldberg.
You want to roll up with Pat?
No. I think Gunther wins, but
Okay.
the Goldberg edition, I don't know. I don't know if so many people are predicting that they're just trying to throw us off the trail. But for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch.
This is Becky's right here. Becky, and then we get maybe a Becky Bailey feud going into SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think it's been enough time for Lyra, and if I'm holding true to my prediction with Jacob winning, then I think they need some kind of title change, and I'm going to call that with Becky.
Well, hold up now. Maybe Bailey comes back and does a run in here. She's not hurt.
Yeah, that's not out of the realm of possibility, and I think Becky versus Bailey non-title is still big enough to be on a SummerSlam card.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going with Lyra. I'm changing my pick.
Okay. Even though you got Drew winning the U.S., or is that kind of influencing your pick?
No. That even though I got Drew winning the IC, I still think Lyra retains here. She kind of has to.
Yeah. I don't know. I could, Becky's not keen to putting anybody over, brother.
Oh, come
on. The main event for the undisputed WWE Championship: John Cena versus Randy Orton.
This has all the makings to be an all-time stinker, Micah. So if the crowd ain't playing ball, if the crowd is tired, if the crowd heat ain't there for this match, this could be a really bad match because Randy does everything in his power not to take any bumps. Any bumps. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but he doesn't lift people up anymore. He doesn't lift people up, and he hardly ever lands flat back. And John Cena's bag is just completely empty at this point. He's just living off legacy. So if the crowd heat ain't here for this match, Micah, then this could be bad. You know, I'm very fearful that we get a Travis Scott run in here. Very fearful.
Oh God.
I can see it though. I can see it happen.
You swerved me so bad with the. We have the makings of an all-time. I thought you were gonna say like, upset.
Oh no, man! But you agree, right? Though, if the crowd heat ain't there, this is gonna be a really, really awful match.
Oh yeah, I almost wonder if they're gonna open with this.
Oh no way! You can't open with this. Randy's the hometown kid.
But oh man, if they're dead by the time this comes on,
they're gonna make noise for the announcement from St. Louis, Missouri. They're gonna make noise for that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when the bell rings, pal. Like, we're getting a power slam. We're getting a 5-knuckle shuffle, an RKO, maybe a punt tease, drape DDT, attitude adjustment, STF. But it's the gray area. The unknown is really what worries me about this match, man.
I hope all those young fans, I hope they get to see this straight up stinker of a match and finally admit that this was never an all-time rivalry. This was always a company built rivalry. This was never a great feud. Randy Orton and John Cena is not an all-time great feud on the level of Bret and Shawn or Rock and Austin. And I'm tired of the people online, these young fans, these whippersnappers, Micah, saying that Cena and Randy is an all-time great feud. It just makes no sense.
No, and I consider
live-
myself. Yeah, I was about to say I consider myself somewhat to be a whippersnapper because I grew up with this. But
Yeah,
even then,
y'all
It's-
nephews, calm down, man. Calm down.
but regardless, I think we both take Cena. It's too early to pull the belt off of him. So
Travis
we'll
Scott
see.
making an appearance too.
Don't predict that. don't float that out in the air anywhere.
Fiend.
Dude, I was gonna bring this up and it completely slipped my mind. I have like PTSD from that song.
They played so much last
Yes,
year.
I have heard it so much from WWE and like just the way that WrestleMania ended. Because
You can never listen to it again.
no, I can hear what's that weekend song that was for WrestleMania 40?
Oh, gasoline?
Yes, that song, like, I feel nostalgic hearing that song. Like, it makes me think of, like, I remember working that week of WrestleMania and being like, man, I can't wait till the weekend. Like, this WrestleMania is going to be so gas. And then this year, like, I'll scroll on TikTok and I hear Fiend, and it's just immediate. I'm going to the next video. Like, I don't want to hear it. Get that fraud out of here.
They got to do something to tie in Travis Scott to the Cena heel turn because the tag team match is coming. So
What would be hilarious is if we get a final boss appearance here. That would be the icing on the cake.
Can you imagine the meltdown? Rock just shows up when he wants, ruining Cena's heel turn again.
Oh man,
He'd be saving the heel turn. I would want.
I kind of hope that happens now, just for the hilarity. Let chaos ensue.
He shows up with the third man.
Oh man, and the third man's like Austin Theory.
Oh, come on now. That was your first guess? Not everybody.
Well, I just what would take the air out of an arena quicker?
Travis Scott.
Well, there you go. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'll keep you posted whether we're going to be live on TikTok this weekend, but make sure to follow us there. Check out the link in the description. Check out our socials so you know we're scooping, slamming next. We've been pretty active on those as well, so check out our content. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Take care of yourself. Have a good weekend. Spend some time with your moms this weekend, and come check out BackLash. We appreciate you. Have a good one.